Welcome to another Mystical Perspective. I'm Reverend Cindy Paulus, and we have been talking about some very inspirational and important subjects that I hope can lead you into a deeper level of spiritual mind power affirmations. I've been basing a lot of these talks on Dr. Paul Leon Master's book, Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations. And we have been reading the affirmations, and then we go into a talk on them, and then a little insight and meditation and prayer. Today the topic is seeing the beyond within, which is a very interesting subject. And we'll get into that and why, to me, it's fascinating, because to me, we have been finding so many distractions in the outer world with social media and more input that we're seeing and spending time with on our phones or on the screens, that we are taking a lot of time not looking within, but being distracted without. But there's a real, very valuable thing that happens when we do take the time not to be distracted, but look within. And it also can increase our life when we're looking outside of our inner self. So starting with the affirmations of seeing the beyond within. The first affirmation is seeing. I recognize that my mind has the capacity to see into itself and study itself as consciousness. This is a very key aspect to being in a higher state of consciousness and being self-aware, and that many other mammals do not have the gift to be able to do this. Although possibly cats, because cats can do things we don't even know about, right? Repeating this one, seeing. I recognize that my mind has the capacity to see into itself and study itself as consciousness. The next affirmation is on levels. I realize that my mind exists on many different levels that my mind can see into. So here, obviously, we're not just on one level of consciousness. We're in a multi-dimensional level of consciousness which continues to expand and grow as our pioneers of inner space continue to find more levels. We can travel into higher levels of consciousness within ourselves. Repeating the levels, I realize that my mind exists on many different levels that my mind can see into. And in a way, this is also like what happens when we find out more and more about outer space. It's interesting how we can also find out more and more about inner space. Although there's a lot more money being spent on outer space than inner space, right? Heaven, I understand that certain levels of consciousness that are significantly spiritual in nature can be inwardly seen. Repeating that, I understand that certain levels of consciousness that are significantly spiritual in nature can be inwardly seen. So can you see heaven within? Can you actually have glimpses of heaven? More and more people are now saying they've had near-death experiences, and they have experienced that. And there's now even more talk about shared near-death experiences, those present at a bedside. They're saying as much as 5 to 10% of people who are at the deathbed of a loved one now are also sharing those experiences, not obviously going all the way, but seeing them leave their body and have some of the same life reviews and seeing what that light looks like in heaven. So yes, you can do this with not just near-death experiences, but in meditation. and enlightened expressions of meditation. The next one is variety. I understand that the mind, looking into itself, can visually see a wide variety of perceptions. Now, this could be anything from just passing colors in the third eye, right? When we close our eyes, we see different shades and colors, and they are really multicolored, depending on a lot of our state of mind, our state of our aura, the state of our input and impressions. We can then also see visions. We can see amazing visions of higher levels of consciousness as well, which takes us to the third eye sight affirmation. I understand that the interior region of my forehead is open to view realities existing beyond life experience. So when we start to meditate, we close our eyes and we look at our third eye in the center of our forehead. And we watch what happens there. It gives us a point of concentration and a place to see a little entry and doorway into the higher levels of being and consciousness. And we can see so many different things there. I mean, it's as good as any different variety of movie, and sometimes a lot better than some of the movies, is what you can see when you actually do focus on your third eye. So again, I understand that the interior region of my forehead is open to view realities existing beyond physical life experiences. Full body sight. I understand that my conscious mind's awareness is open to inner visual experiences in the interior of my upper body down to the reproductive area. Now, Dr. Masters, in a lot of his talks and different lectures that he's given, has talked about the fact that you can view your inner body and you can scan it and that you can see it and you can work with it. You certainly can focus on the different chakras levels, and you can visualize what your base chakra and your second chakra and your third chakra and your heart chakra and the neck chakra and the throat chakra and the head chakra and the crown chakra all look like, and you can see what colors they are. You can scope them out. And you can also take a look at your awareness to the upper body down to the reproductive area of your whole being is. I understand that my conscious mind's awareness is open to inner visual experiences in the interior of my upper body down to the reproductive area. Now, when you see that, it's not the same as what you would see if you were looking at Gray's Anatomy, the book. You're seeing it from energetic level more than the actual physical. Okay, energy is the next one. I understand that energy normally used by the outer five senses is turned inward to active inner sense perception. So this is a very important point in today's world. How much energy are we putting out when we do our Facebook or Instagram or any of our posts? Think of not just the time spent reading, but the energy, and then the time spent in responding, and then responding to someone who responds again. I mean, an amazing amount of energy is now, in this day and age, being expended and into the outer world and to your five senses and beyond. As we get into artificial intelligence and more, and I think holistic pretty soon, and 4D and more, we're putting a lot of energy out. And I don't know, and I don't really sense that we're putting as much energy back inside. I do feel that more people than ever are meditating, but I think a lot of people meditating these days are doing guided meditations, and it's a little different than just going into the quiet silence and going within without the outer stimulus going within. So it's important to filter your time spent and balance that inside to the outside. I think it's very important, more than we might realize. I think we'll be seeing more and more energy retreats where you don't take your phone, where you just sit in silence. More and more people are doing this and finding it very, very revitalizing. Others have a very hard time and go withdrawals and can't handle it, The next one is meditation. Through my daily practice of meditation, I open the surface level of my mind to receive inner visual perceptions. Again here, through my daily practice of meditation, I open the surface level of my mind to receive inner sense visual perceptions. So here we are doing just what we were saying. We're going within, and we're taking time to be quiet, to be still, to connect to that presence of God within, and to be with that energy, just to be. This is not, in meditation, a doing time. It's a being time. We are humans being, not humans doing, but we have become more and more humans doing and less humans being. And the next one is aura. Whenever I practice meditation, I visualize a white, protective aura of God's light emanating from within me and surrounding my physical body with light. This is something you should do every single day. And if you start your day with meditation, it's a great time to do it. You should even do it before you go to sleep at night to protect yourself from negative energies. This aura should not be a small aura. It should be a very bold, bright, all-surrounding, all-encompassing aura. And it is a good thing to do around cars, when you drive. I do it around planes, when I fly. A very important thing to do that. Repeating this whenever I practice meditation, I visualize a white, protective aura of God's light emanating from within me and surrounding my physical body with light. And the last one here is goal. My foremost and primary goal is to perceive God's light presence or ultimate oneness where I, the viewer, and the viewed, and God are one. So this is, that about covers enlightenment, doesn't it? If your goal is really to perceive God's light presence as the ultimate oneness there, where you are one, the viewer and the viewed, then how does that change seeing the beyond within? You are then one with the in, the out, the beyond, and you and God are one. And all of the different separations and inner and outer merge. So that's a nice goal to have, isn't it? I'm repeating that goal. My foremost and primary goal is to perceive God's light presence or ultimate oneness where I, the viewer, and the viewed, and God are one. Well, those are the affirmations from the Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations book by Dr. Paul Leon Masters. And you really will find that when you do these, that I find them to be inspiring to read in the morning. And some of them I just really find that it's worth repeating. There's so much that we have to realize that's changing here. We really are pilgrims, and there's just this amazing, powerful, new and greater reality than the times that were the ancient times. That we're continuing to expand and develop our consciousness. We're beginning to even understand more and more about what is going on inside and out. And there's an ever-expanding energy and an infinite amount of ways that we can now communicate and express ourselves. And we have more tools than ever. I cannot believe how many tools we have to play with. I mean, I have over 300 apps, right? And I mean, they're amazing, and they are very distracting. And they are, for me, a way of expressing what I get in messages I put on I have an image app. It's called Image App, and I can write it down there and put a background behind it. Then I can put it up on. I mean, I probably spend an hour and a half to 2 hours every morning just posting something. But that is time that I could be spending inside in quiet, meditating in retreat. But what do we do with these tools? It's always a fine balance. We wish to share our messages and what we've got, right? This is a nice gift to be able to share. But then we have to think about the price we pay, the time it takes, and how we balance that all out. I mean, it is really always good to have some retreat time, and some of the times to do that can be during the times of the full moon. I mean, we have to be able to be instrument of God's love still. And we have to be able to maintain that ability to manifest that power of God without being out of balance with what we have to do with the energy we put out and all the distractions. And I really do think there are more distractions now than ever before. I mean, that is why I did a book about using time on board a plane as a time to do a retreat time. But they're getting to the point now where people can use as many distractions on board a plane as they didn't used to be able to. So, but you can make that choice. I mean, even now I use Insight Timer app all the time for meditation, and I have quite a few of my works posted there. But it's so easy if that phone is within your reach to get pinged and then you to look. So it takes a lot of strength to just really focus on what is most important in your meditations and to continue to think of that time as sacred time in the time that we're here, right? I mean, again, going back to that last affirmation about oneness, we are a part of God, and we will merge and become one with that energy. We're here for a while, and then it brings me to the point of questioning and wondering, how do we take all of that inside energy we're getting, that beyond within, and correctly reflect it outside? How does that mystical union with God reflect out and get expressed in a clear way to the human race? We're mirrors of the universe, and there's such beauty that we can share. There's this amazing symphony of sounds, and there's this growing ability to be inspired by art and by music and by what's going on around us. That power to share that is really an amazing blessing. But we have to protect what it takes to create that and how we get about doing that. So let's go and do a brief meditation and go within and take some deep breaths. Remember always that breath sweeps mind. So if you are getting cluttered and if there's a million distractions, it's always good to put aside your distractions and to take a deep, deep breath in and just relax, sit erect. Take a moment to breathe in spirit. Take a moment to breathe in that light and release that any kind of tension or energy you picked up from the day. Breathe in the pure essence of the oneness of you and the spirit and the presence. Breathe that in and let it fill every single part of your body and mind. Be the I am that I am, a beam of light from God's creation. Feel it flowing from the one source of your soul as the very breath of living love. Feel that living love right now in your heart. Allow it to expand there, to grow into a beautiful blossom of pure essence from the Garden of Heaven. Feel it continuing to heal anything that needs to be healed, to forgive anything that needs to be forgiven, to balance out any of the inner and outer that needs to be balanced, to be in the perfect center of your soul. Become in this moment a pure, holy reflection of the energy of love. Take a breath and clear away any shadows so there is a clarity that allows this amazing power of being to be fulfilled so you can become the living love of the One. The sound of spirit alive in each breath that is shared. Breathe it in. Believe it. Feel the power of this love spreading now throughout your entire beingness, your body. Let it fill your aura and clear anything that is out of whack. Let it release anything that's not aligned, in perfect alignment with that oneness of all being. Allow yourself to be blessed right now by God's unconditional love. Feel it pouring from the source, that perfect oneness. Let it reverberate in that oneness of a frequency of perfection, that unconditional love throughout every single cell of your body. Allow yourself now to understand that you are an instrument of this love, that you are a vehicle of spirit, that you have a reason that you are here, that you can fulfill your soul's purpose and destiny, that you can share that love in your heart. Remember to go inside and listen to the soul. Listen and let it speak to you right now in this instant. Feel the I am, that I am's presence alive in your body, mind, and spirit. And feel your hunger for that spirit being fed by God. Let it know, as you know, that you are here for a reason. You can be part of the solution. Realize that this beautiful gift is given. Allow yourself to digest it and feel it, become it, and accept it. You are the living light of love. Now slowly come out of your state of meditation and allow yourself a moment to absorb all this beautiful energy. And say with me, if you can, or otherwise just listen to the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer. Father, Mother of the Cosmos, shimmering light of all, focus your light within us as we breathe your holy breath. Enter the sanctuary of our hearts, uniting within us the sacred rays of your power and beauty. Let your heart's desire unite heaven and earth through our sacred union. Help us fulfill what lies within the circle of our lives today. Forgive our secret fears as we freely choose to forgive the secret fears of others. Let us not enter into forgetfulness, tempted by false appearances. For from your astonishing fire comes the eternal song, which sanctifies all, renewed eternally in our lives and throughout creation. We seal these words in our hearts, committed in trust and faith. And as I like to say, an Hawaiian phrase, amama, amama, ua noa, the prayer is free. I thank you so much for listening today. And I really hope that you find this gift of being able to look within and then share what you find within, without, and the balance between them is a beautiful way to walk on your path. The Spiritual Mind Power Affirmations book is by Dr. Paul Leon Masters, and I have all of my talks for free on my Mystical Perspective site. So I hope you enjoy this very much, and I wish you the best blessings of love and light always.